much more than just simply developing software. We obviously try to use as much of the tried and true software engineering techniques as we can, but sometimes just sheer innovation and design mean that things go a little more chaotic.
You don't innovate without making mistakes, and mistakes are expensive. And you got to learn, you got to put money in, take chances, build things, and everything layers on top of everything that's gone before.
We want them to forget their outside world. We want to take them in. We want them to forget about how work was, or what problems they had driving home, or whatever thing is on their mind, and immerse them totally in.
I think Front Page Sports, that line right off the bat comes to mind. That game has so many features. If you're a stats hound, you can get right in there and just play the stats. And that is just a small part of that game.
We really are trying to design a product that takes you out of a linear entertainment mode where it's delivered to you as in watching television and lets you interactively participate in that process.
We're currently working on figuring out what's the best way to utilize CD-ROM technology to make our products really exciting and to perform well.
You want to remove any sort of perception that the user has that what is occurring is a simulation on a computer.
We like to prod the market along to where it's up to a higher technological level.
We're looking at adding online manuals that will give you a lot more information about the game.
The play value has to be there, the fun, the interactivity.
Play another person over the phone. So if you got a buddy across town or across the United States or across the world, you can get in the arena and mix it up with them.
We had EGA that looked like VGA. We had VGA that looked like Super VGA. This time we're using Super VGA.
You want the real story?
We've already got high-res going. We're already 32-bit for all you technocrats out there.
The graphics system is all polygonal based, and what we're able to do is provide real smooth animations that makes them more believable.
I'm hoping that the technology will be to the place where you can be in that game.
In Front Page Sports, if you're playing in career play, you have a group of players, you play the season ends, and they all get older. And some of them retire.
Every product we do is always raising the bar, and every other product benefits from those advances.
That's what I love about working here.
It's pretty crazy sometimes.
I love computer games. The people I work with love computer games.
With Phantasmagoria and some of the other games coming for 1994, you'll see a graphic look based on video technology like nothing you've ever seen before.
When you get all done with the product and you see it on the shelf, it feels good. That's why I do it.
Fun has just begun.
The 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 fun has just begun, buddy.
The fun has just begun.
The fun has just begun.
The fun has just begun!
Ever since Freddie Farkas set up his pharmacy in the post-gold rush town of Coarse Gold, California, he's kept a rather low profile.
Mind the store, won't you, Srini? I'm off to uphold justice and stuff.
But as a strange onslaught of trouble gallops into town, it's up to Freddie to save Coarse Gold from disaster and desertion by bringing his secret gun-slinging past out of the closet.
I've got to dredge up my ugly past, dust it off, fluff it up, and put it on again.
Experience Freddie Farkas, Frontier Pharmacist, as it was meant to be, on CD-ROM, with full multimedia voice, sound, and musical score.
Not pistols and pharmacology. Farkas
from a land far, far away. With help from his loyal Indian sidekick, Serini Lakaka Bagnish, Freddie, once the youngest sheriff and fastest gunslinger in the West, sets out to save his hometown from invading outlaws, a crooked sheriff, and even horse flatulence. Freddie Farkas, Frontier Pharmacist. The funniest adventure yet from Al Lowe, creator of the legendary Leisure Suit Larry.
Some of your fine coarse gold fillies.
It packs more laugh-out-loud entertainment than a posse of cowpoke.
Oh, what's up? That's answer question.
A simple point-and-shoot interface makes this fully interactive comedy western easy to saddle up and play. So, grab your pistols and pistols and start mixing it up with some of the craziest characters from the way out west in Sierra's latest interactive CD-ROM release, Freddie Farkas, Frontier Pharmacist.
People ask me how you make a game. I say you sit down at the computer and you stare at the screen, and a year later you stand up.
On a girly close-up or something?
Yes.
I didn't know why I needed an Apple II, but I just knew that if I got one, I could make it pay for itself. And I suppose I have. I think, and of course my psychoanalyst has helped this a lot, that Larry is the outside life that I never had. Larry's really big with psychotics and prisoners, and no. There's no limit to the amount of embarrassment that I can put this guy through. As far as I know, I'm the oldest computer game designer in the world. A lot of the characters in Leisure Suit Larry come about because I'm a jazz musician and I play a lot of clubs. And you see all kinds. And it was real fun to base those characters on the people that I have observed working the environment. There's been a running gag with Ken Williams. I needed a drunk to put at the bar, and Larry won, and so I thought, gee, who better than somebody that I know? Ken keeps telling me that the next one could be the last one. In Leisure Suit Larry 3, he was the chief of the native tribe. He was, in that one, he was Chief Kenny Wawa. And he made you prove your manhood by forcing you to write a program in assembly language. What I'd like to see is a game where the player sits down in front of his computer and his video camera captures his face, and we take that face and put it on our characters and you become the star. Wow! It's a hell of a way for a grown man to make a living, I'll tell you that. I've had a wonderful life. It's a very godlike feeling. No matter what I can dream up, Sierra has the talent and the artist to produce that silly little world and those silly little actions, and the best part is I can make people laugh.
Nein, dann müsst ihr irgendwas verkehrt gemacht haben.
Wherever did you find my gold locket?
This may look like an animated cartoon,
but it's actually a $500 million industry. Computer games. Literally millions of people around the world have experienced one of these interactive adventures, like the games in the King's Quest series from Sierra Online. Unlike their less sophisticated cousins, video game cartridges, today's computer games are powerful packages that take full advantage of today's fast machines. In the last 10 years, computer games have gone from stick figures to pixelized art to full-color adventures with stereo sound. And as these games have become more complex and more advanced, the production has become more involved and expensive. With budgets now approaching $1 million or more, creating a computer game has become a lot like making a motion picture.
Back in 1980, when my husband and I worked on our first game, which was Mystery House, we did all the work ourselves. I wrote the game from a scripting standpoint. I did the dialogue. I did the art. My husband did the programming. He would take my art, put it into the game, and my scripting, and put it into the game, and he programmed it. Since King's Quest VI is so important to Sierra, we made sure that we assembled a crew of the best writers, artists, animators, and programmers that the industry has to offer. And not only that, we also brought in specialists like cinematographers and composers.
King's Quest VI, the latest installment in the immensely popular series from California software publisher Sierra Online, is currently in production. The company employs over 500 people, all engaged in some aspect of computer game production.
A game like King's Quest VI takes about 1.5 years to produce and has a budget of over $1 million. During this time, the designers and the artists work together to create a storyboard that outlines the entire project, just like in a motion picture. The difference is, in a computer game, you have to plan what the player is going to do and choose different responses and storylines based upon those actions.
It's very much like a movie. The difference is that you are there as the player playing the game. You're there. You're the one determining how this movie goes.
Working from the storyboards, artists create backgrounds and characters, using traditional animation methods or video captured technology that creates a more movie-like atmosphere.
By using live costume actors, we can make the action as realistic as possible.
That sequence can then be taken into a computer program, where an artist can modify the action and blend it with hand-painted backgrounds.
For King's Quest VI, we captured over 2,000 separate character movements.
These sequences are assembled by programmers who construct the game in such a way that players can uncover puzzles in any order without losing the overall story. The end result? A mini-movie where the player directs the action.
From the time I was a little girl, I always wanted to do movies. I mean, from the time I can ever recall telling people what I wanted to do for a living, I always said I want to work in the movies, and I didn't mean in front of the camera. I really think that writing or scripting out an adventure game is more difficult than a movie. Playing a King's Quest game is like playing a beautiful fantasy film where you play the lead actor, the director, and you're also the audience, all at the same time.
Sierra Online proudly presents the richest, most significant animated adventure ever created on CD, King's Quest VII. Roberta Williams and a cast of the world's most talented multimedia musicians, artists, and animators spin an enchanting interactive experience guaranteed to touch your entire family. In King's Quest VII, you will enjoy graphics and sound of a caliber you've never seen or heard before on CD. So experience the magic with the most elaborate adventure game of all time, King's Quest VII.
I remember those days when we first started talking about doing the company and doing Mystery House. And we used to sit around at night and say, gosh, if this game would ever sell just 10,000 copies, I mean, that was kind of the magic number we had in mind, then that would allow us to move out of LA. We could live kind of happily ever after, because we weren't going for a big house or nothing. We just wanted a log cabin in the woods.
He got his first Apple computer back in
1979, 1980, and brought home a little game called Colossal Cave, a little text adventure game. And I started playing it, and this sort of gave me the idea that, you know, I could try doing this. I think at the time we thought, well, if we could just earn $40,000 a year, you know, we could live comfortably in the woods and, you know, and just work at home and work together on games. Wouldn't that be fun? The truth of Mystery House is that it was the first computer game with graphics. Nobody ever really realizes that, but all computer games up till that point were all text. And it was the first computer game with graphics. Didn't have any animation, didn't have any sound, didn't have any color. It was black and white, but it did have graphics.
Success after we started Sierra came fast. I remember we shipped our first product on, I think it was May 5th, 1980. And you know, at that point it was kind of like some year this might be big enough we could leave LA. And we bought our house in Yosemite in August of 1980.
Right away, we were bombarded with calls day and night.
We just didn't realize what had happened, and suddenly there were 30,000, 40,000 people out there with our home phone. And we'd get woke up at 3 and 4 in the morning, and it was just kind of around the clock, and we were
all the time. We had boxes in our house everywhere, just piled with stuff. And yeah, it lasted about 6 months. We moved to Oakhurst, and then it lasted about another 3 months in our house, and it was just, and we were starting to hire employees by this time. At that point, I said, "That's it. No secretaries are coming to work here at my house. It's time to get an office."
Roberta's parents had put an apple orchard in Yosemite, and we decided that'd be a nice place to be. I think the town grew up to about 7,000 people, but 550 were working for us in Oakhurst. We looked at our growth rate over the next few years, and they said, where are they going to live? You know, there was no way that they were going to build, you know, the apartment buildings or the housing to put people in. So ultimately we had to leave Oakhurst. Been a lot of change in the industry. I remember originally there was not the sense of it being a highly competitive business, that it was more us and a few other companies that were trying to change the world through doing computer games. Every year we'd do kind of an industry raft trip, and the whole industry would go rafting together. We'd take all of our employees, go down the rivers together and throw buckets of water at each other. These days it's more of it's a real industry, and you know, the goal here is to try to grab 2 points of market share.
I love my job. I can't ask for a better job. You know, I told some of my son's friends, you know, that what I do is I sit around and make up things all day. It's just really fun.
Yeah, we got awfully good competitors. I mean, to figure out how to do better games than they do every year is a lot of complexity, but we do it. We do it. We've done it 15 years in a row. We'll just do it another 15 or so. I think of Sierra as a interactive entertainment company. I always kind of break the world into passive entertainment companies and interactive entertainment companies. In passive entertainment, there were book companies, record companies, and film companies, but and I don't think passive entertainment's going away, but there's this other whole industry called interactive entertainment that's going to emerge, and I think that it's probably going to be bigger than passive entertainment ever was, and there's nothing you can do. Yeah, it's just like TV didn't obsolete radio, but there's so much more you can do in TV, and interactive entertainment isn't going to eliminate any of the passive entertainment industries, but you can do everything they can plus a whole lot more. And Sierra's goal has always been to be the leader in interactive entertainment, and to prove to the world that this truly is a different medium, not just you know, not just movies with a computer or something. It's different. It's, you know, suddenly make the player kind of the master of the world, make them own all those pixels on that screen of that machine, and yeah, it's going to be an enormous industry, and we just want to own it.
Well, I just want to see it. You know, I want to see it grow and prosper and become important in the entertainment industry. I want Sierra and the people in Sierra to really make their mark in the entertainment industry and not just be thought of as a computer game company, you know, but really we have talented animators and writers and actors and composers, and you know, and we understand all the ins and outs of the entertainment industry as well as anybody in the entertainment industry. I also feel that I would like Sierra to be one of the major companies to really set the standards for what an interactive story or movie is in the future. You know, what is that? Everybody now is still sort of jockeying for that position as to what it is, and nobody's really hit that mark yet. I'd like to think Sierra could do that. We just have a lot of talented people, and it's just so exciting to be involved with the group of people that I am involved with. I feel so lucky to be able to do this kind of work and to meet the kind of people I meet and to create. To me, it's just so fulfilling to create these worlds and these characters and these stories. And I feel that Sierra gives me and other people that opportunity to do that. It's hard, you know, when you ask inspiration, where it actually comes from. You know, sometimes it just comes to you. You'll be laying asleep and an idea just comes to you, or you have a dream, or you'll see a movie or read something, and it just gives you an idea, and it sort of builds from there.
We did market research before releasing King's Quest VI, just for the heck of it, to see how well it would sell. And so we did some fun research where we asked people, would you drive 30 miles to get it if you had to? And it was almost 100%, and it didn't drop below 92% until they had to drive over 70 miles to get their King's Quest.
With King's Quest VII, we really wanted to put a new face on this product. Seventh in a series, it's always hard to think how to make this bigger and better than the last one, and to keep something like King's Quest alive and fresh and new. I think we've always been very successful at that. Always keep the quality up. We always keep the storyline up. It's one of the things that we're doing with King's Quest VII. We really went into this one, and this is going to be on CD, by the way, pure CD, multimedia, all sound. We went into it with the idea that this was going to be Disney-like. So the look is different than other King's Quests. It's much more lighthearted. It's much more fanciful. The characters are all done with paper animation, so they're very free-form, free-moving. The bigger, funnier, and it's cinematic. A lot more cinematic scenes, camera movements. So actors, are real big these days. A lot of games now, tout the fact that they have actors. King's Quest doesn't have that, and it shouldn't have that because it is, a sort of a Disney-like experience. But keeping that in mind, it is very beautiful, and it is very cinematic, and very in keeping with the times. King's Quest is famous for is you go to a land, but the land is usually divided into pieces and parts with different kinds of characters and themes. And that's true with King's Quest VII. Each sort of region has its own look, types of characters, and atmosphere, so that you get this varied landscape. But like I said, we just have a top-notch artistic team and animation team and great writers and just everything going for it. I think people will be very, very pleased with it. The essential idea of how I design and how I think of a game is not really changed from Mystery House, the first game I did. The basic elements are still there. How I think about it is basically the same. Technology has enhanced how they look, how they sound, and how they feel to the customer. But it's kind of funny if you forget all that, if you forget how much better the games look or how much better they sound, and you're just really involved in the story of the game, there isn't that much difference between how you feel when you're playing Mystery House to how you feel when you're playing King's Quest VII. I we filming? My name is Roberta Williams. I'm a computer game designer, mostly basically adventure games. I'm more of a writer. I like to write stories and watch movies and read books. I watch a lot of horror. I like horror. I read horror books. Not a lot, but I mean I am a horror fan. Also a co-founder of Sierra Online, and I've been doing this for about 15 years. As you guys could tell, I still work at my kitchen table quite often. Things don't change as much as you think. You hate to say they're like you know, but elements of yourself, I think, do come into it. Basically, the essential idea of how I design and how I think of a game is not really changed from Mystery House, the first game I did. The basic elements are still there. You know, sometimes it just comes to you, be laying asleep and an idea just comes to you, you have a dream, or you'll see a movie or read something and it just gives you an idea and it sort of builds from there. If you're really a writer, from the time you're a child, you have characters that you think of and that you've always had. You know, I'm probably one of the few game designers that had that character be female, you know, quite often. Not always, but quite often. So I think there's a little bit of myself in some of that kind of character. We just have a top-notch artistic team and animation team and great writers and just everything going for it. I think people will be very, very pleased with it. Oh, don't make me say it again. I like working for Sierra because I founded it. I have to like it. No.
Welcome to adulthood. I'm Azimuth, your adoptive father. I don't know if I'm still alive now, but it doesn't matter. You must pursue my work, be worthy of me, and find the Schnibble.
Introducing the bizarre adventures of Woodruff and the Schnibble. A futuristic and outrageous world where the government rules all and nothing is sacred. Our hero, Woodruff, must avenge his teddy bear's death, find his kidnapped father, and locate the mysterious Schnibble. Impossible. Don't bet on it.
You might make money if you bet on the red or the black.
Yes, all eyes are on Woodruff, as he will stop at nothing to find the Schnibble and save the day. A challenging adventure game of a deeper, more meaningful existence. The bizarre adventures of Woodruff and the Schnibble. A way of life.
Luckily, I'm in a good mood. You're hired.
Coming this holiday season, a gift from the Sierra family to your family. The first in a new fully animated adventure game series, Torrens Passage. Combining the hand-drawn classic animation of King's Quest VII and the humor of Lowe, Sierra takes you to new levels of entertainment. Explore worlds within worlds, filled with magic, fascinating new characters.
Google, can you be an axe?
And fun.
Not X, axe.
Where anything is possible. You and your buddy, Boogle, must rescue your parents from the evil sorceress, Licentiate. And her able assistant, Dream. Match wits with a diabolical Peccant. And discover the lovely Lena. Plus much more.
Absurd and absurd.
To make you and your child
All right!
laugh out loud. Enchant your family this holiday season with Torrens Passage.
Long, long away in a galaxy far, far ago, those two guys from Andromeda decided to rid the universe of boring software space games. They had a cosmic concept, of vulcanized fission, and perhaps a little too much free time. Emanating from their cerebral cavities came forth the Space Quest series with Roger Wilco, intergalactic sanitary engineer. Now the 3D adventure game continues with Space Quest 3, The Pirates of Pestilence. Once you've donned the space boots of Roger Wilco, it's up to you to save the universally acclaimed software authors, those two guys from Andromeda, from a fate worse than death. Spare these space dudes from churning out dull, mindless arcade games for the disreputable software company Scumsoft. To save our heroes from software slavery, you must travel to many strange and interesting planets, and perhaps sample some of the best cosmic cuisine in the galaxy. Eat hearty, though. You're going to need all the strength you can muster to hang on through this 3D adventure.
Meanwhile, in the dingy basement of Scumsoft, we find the two guys from Andromeda.
Really? So what do you think of the new Chicken Quest? Fabulous, JB, fabulous. You think it's gonna sell? Oh yeah, like hotcakes. Big bucks, huh? Big bucks, big bucks.